Hello, and welcome to another episode of Footnotes, in which I recap the most ravishing language and ideas from the last week of Wired. First up today, bootlegging. Underwire put out a video interview with Jason Clarke, who stars in the new film Lice. He plays a bootlegger and is therefore automatically a personal hero of mine. But where did the term bootlegger come from? It emerged in the late 19th century because people were hiding liquor in their boots. I apologize for that not being a more intricate story. During Prohibition, the term applied both to individuals hiding hooch and to the larger practice of smuggling alcohol by land. By sea, it was referred to as rum running because boats don't have shoes to put the liquor in. Business was good, and not just because of the insane demand during Prohibition, but because Americans have always been very fond of alcohol. In fact, in the early 1800s, the average American over the age of 15, and please note that I said 15, drank an average of 88 bottles of hard hooch each year. The problem was that we were drunk pretty much all the time. This gave rise to the Anti-Saloon League, the bastards largely responsible for Prohibition. But luckily the bootleggers won out, soggy socks and all. Up next, we're wigging out. Our raw file desk profiled a photographer who gives his subjects water balloon wigs. He used some high-tech gadgetry to get these shots, but the wig itself has a decidedly low-tech history. Now, the ancient Egyptians did not invent the big pointy building, and they weren't even the first to wrap up dead folks for later use as cash cows in museums, but they did rock a mean wig. It was far easier for them to shave their heads than it was to deal with lice, which ran rampant back then because the school nurses that did the screenings were total amateurs. But they needed to protect their noggins from the sun, so they slathered some beeswax on their heads and dropped on a wig made out of wool, palm leaf fiber, or human hair. It should be noted that the wigs did not necessarily aim for a realistic look, which is great if you were poor and all you could afford was to slap some fruit peels on your head. The ancient Greeks and Romans used wigs as well, but after them, the style fell out of favor until the 16th century, when it was again picked up to curb lice infestations. Because wigs were expensive, especially the giant fancy ones, they were mostly luxury of the upper classes, hence the term bigwig. They were obsessed with outwigging each other, sometimes forgetting that they had governments and economies to run. Big, ostentatious wigs fell out of favor yet again at the turn of the 19th century, and are today found only in British courts, where they're used to hide liquor.